In this video, we'll have a look at the setup for final return for a person who's deceased in the tax year and requires a final return preparation. Just want to point out a couple of things here. The first bullet there is for deceased clients, do not include the estate of late in the client's first name. I lifted that right out of the e-file manual, CRA e-file manual chapter 1, so I'll just point that out. As soon as you have a date of death in the tax file for the tax year, that's automatically a final return. Profile makes it easy to set up. I'm going to use an example of a married couple. It has a few design features, so we'll have a look at those. Let's go have a look. I just want to first point out that this is all a demonstration file. There's no personally identifiable information in the tax file. Let's go look. I'm in a 2024 T1. This is a married couple. And I have the auditor open. Let's have a look to see what happens when I enter date of death. What I can do is I'm going to put in a date of death. So I've entered a date of death in the tax year. I'm going to prepare a T1 final. We can see that the warnings in the auditor change. And let's have a look here. CRA is, I think, getting a lot of returns where the date of death was put on the wrong spouse. This is a message just to be sure, double check. Is this the taxpayer who is deceased in the tax year? And if it is correct, I can just right click in the auditor and sign off. The next message is this an early filed or elective return? Early filed is if I was doing let's say a 2025 return for somebody who passed away at the beginning of 2025, and the 2025 tax returns are not available yet. So that would be an early return. A final return for the tax year that the person died is not an early return. An elective return, CRA also calls it optional returns. So that's like the section 72. So if it's just a final return, I answer no. This is just a little heads up. Profile knows that you can claim medical expenses. There's the warning there. It's a 24-month period that includes the day of the person's death. That's the initial setup for the deceased person. We have the deceased person return setup. Now, how do I set up the spouse's return? Well, this is one of the features of Profile. If I go F5 or switch to the spouse's return, Profile has already set it up. There's a warning here, part of the return. So Profile knows that the spouse, unless something happened after the spouse passed away, February the 2nd, is widowed, and the marital status would have changed from married to widowed on the date of death. So Profile knows how to set up the return. If I go back, I can recall I put in a date of death of 0202. This taxpayer was married at the time they passed away. Don't have to make any other changes here in the setup for the final return. And if I go to the spouse's return, Profile has automatically made the changes to the marital status section. Knows that if the spouse passed away, they're widowed. It would have been widowed on the 2nd of February. And that's how you set up a return for a married couple where one of the spouses passed away during the tax year. All you have to do is enter a date of death for the deceased person, and Profile will set up the marital status sections for both returns and handle the tax issues based on your entries reflecting that one of the spouses passed away in the tax year. Hope you found this video useful. If you want more Profile support options, you can go to our website. The main Profile website is profile.intuit.ca.